30 years. Not a day less. That's how long it's been since Selena Quintanilla's voice was silenced, and the world changed forever. 30 years of birthdays that never came, of anniversaries spent staring at old photographs, of concerts imagined but never heard. And now, as if time could undo the unthinkable, the question returned. Would Yolanda Saldívar, the woman who betrayed Selena in her final moments, be granted parole? The answer came like a thunderclap. Denied. For millions of fans and Selena's shattered family, those words were supposed to bring peace. But they didn't, because this was never about parole. It was about the wound that refuses to heal, the ache that lives in the silence of every song. And when Selena's father, Abraham Quintanilla, finally spoke after the decision, his words pierced deeper than ever before. This pain, he admitted softly, never leaves us. But before we get to the heartbreaking truth behind Abraham's words, let's rewind to the moment the world held its breath. For months leading up to 2025, the whispers grew louder. Yolanda's eligibility for parole was no longer distant. It was real. And for Selena's family, that looming possibility felt like betrayal all over again. 30 years weren't enough? Hadn't they lost enough already? Fans flooded social media in outrage. #JusticeForSelena trended globally as loyal supporters refused to let the nightmare resurface. She should never see daylight. Selena doesn't get a second chance. Why should Yolanda? The collective heartbreak felt palpable, as if millions were reliving March 31st, 1995 all over again. Selena's music once united the world in joy, but now, it united them in anger and defiance. And yet, behind the headlines and hashtags, behind the fans' fury and endless petitions, there was one place where the pain ran deeper than anyone could imagine. Inside the Quintanilla family home, every parole update was a dagger. Abraham, the protective father who built Selena's career from childhood dreams into global superstardom, stayed quiet as the hearing approached. Not because he had nothing to say, but because saying anything meant reopening the darkest chapter of his life. A chapter that, in truth, had never really closed. And then, the verdict arrived. Parole denied. No clemency. No early release. No escaping justice. Selena's fans erupted with relief. Across Texas, across Mexico, across every corner of the world where her music played, there were tears of victory. For a fleeting moment, it felt like justice sang louder than heartbreak. But not for Abraham. When he finally spoke, his voice wasn't triumphant. It wasn't even relieved. It was exhausted. This pain never leaves us. For words, and yet they revealed everything. Because no parole decision could change the fact that Selena was gone. No courtroom could rewind the clock. No legal sentence could resurrect a stolen life. For Abraham, Yolanda's parole denial wasn't justice served. It was justice delayed. Delayed so long that even now, decades later, the pain still lingered like a song unfinished. And as fans worldwide celebrated Yolanda's continued imprisonment, Abraham's words cast a long, heartbreaking shadow. Because while the world moved forward, for Selena's father, the clock had stopped on March 31st, 1995. And behind closed doors his grief, his anger, and his shattered dreams still sat quietly, refusing to fade. But what he revealed next, that was even more devastating. In the days following the parole denial, the world watched as fans celebrated the decision. Social media was flooded with messages of relief, gratitude, and renewed commitment to preserving Selena's legacy. Hashtags like #JusticeForSelena and #SelenaVive trended worldwide, a testament to the enduring impact of the Tejano Queen. Yet, amidst the global outpouring of emotion, one voice remained notably quiet: Abraham Quintanilla, Selena's father. Known for his unwavering dedication to his daughter's memory, Abraham had always been a pillar of strength, guiding the family through their darkest days. When he finally spoke, his words were not of celebration but of enduring sorrow. "This pain never leaves us," he confessed, a simple yet profound acknowledgement of the lasting grief that the family endures. Abraham's statement resonated deeply, not just with those who knew Selena personally, but with the millions who felt connected to her through her music and spirit. His words served as a poignant reminder that, while justice may have been served, the wounds left by such a profound loss do not simply heal with time. The family's response to the parole denial was shared through a heartfelt statement, expressing gratitude for the decision while emphasizing the ongoing pain of their loss. They thanked fans for their unwavering support, acknowledging that it has been a source of strength and healing over the years. The statement concluded with a call to continue celebrating Selena's life, rather than focusing on the tragedy that took her from them. Abraham's candid reflection opened a window into the family's private grief, a grief that, despite the passage of time, remains as raw and real as ever. It underscored the reality that, for those closest to Selena, the pain of her absence is a constant companion, a silent presence in every moment of joy and sorrow. As the world continues to honor Selena's legacy, Abraham's words serve as a solemn reminder of the human cost behind the headlines. They challenge us to look beyond the public persona and remember the daughter, sister, and friend who was taken too soon. In sharing his enduring pain, Abraham Quintanilla not only honors his daughter's memory but also connects with the countless others who have experienced similar losses. His vulnerability becomes a bridge, linking hearts across the globe in a shared understanding of love, loss, and the enduring power of memory. The parole board's decision to deny Yolanda Saldívar's release ignited a wave of emotion among Selena's fans worldwide. Social media platforms lit up with messages of relief, justice, and unwavering support for the Quintanilla family. In San Antonio, fans gathered at the Mirador de la Flor, the memorial dedicated to Selena, leaving flowers, candles, and handwritten notes. The atmosphere was one of solemn remembrance, a collective sigh of relief that justice had been upheld. Online, the sentiment was equally powerful. A fan tweeted, "Justice for Selena. We will never forget, and we will never forgive." Another wrote, "Selena's legacy lives on. Her killer stays behind bars where she belongs." The parole denial also sparked renewed interest in Selena's music and life story. Streaming platforms reported a surge in plays of her iconic hits like Como La Flor and Bitty Bitty Boom Bom. Documentaries and biopics about her life climbed the charts, as a new generation discovered the Tejano Queen's enduring influence. Celebrities joined the chorus of voices honoring Selena. Jennifer Lopez, who portrayed Selena in the 1997 biopic, shared a heartfelt post on social media, stating, "Selena's spirit continues to inspire. Justice has been served." Other artists and public figures echoed similar sentiments, highlighting the profound impact Selena had on music and culture. The collective response underscored a powerful truth. Selena's fans are not just admirers of her music, they are guardians of her legacy. Their voices, united in purpose, ensure that her memory remains vibrant and that justice continues to prevail. Justice. That word echoed everywhere the moment Yolanda Saldívar's parole was denied. News outlets repeated it. Fans typed it in capital letters. Comment sections overflowed with cheers and vindication. But inside Selena's home, it didn't feel like justice. Not really, because for Abraham Quintanilla, for Marcella, for Suzette, and for those who knew Selena as more than a superstar, the reality remained brutal. Selena was still gone. Parole denied? That didn't change birthdays that passed quietly. It didn't fill the empty seat at the table on Christmas. It didn't silence the what-ifs that haunted every quiet evening. What if she had lived? What would she be now? A mother? A legend even larger than before? Would she have changed music forever, crossed into global superstardom in ways no Latina artist ever had? Questions without answers, and answers they would never get. For Abraham Quintanilla, these weren't distant hypotheticals. They were knives. Every year, when fans celebrated Selena's music, he celebrated too. But quietly, because when the songs stopped playing and the crowds went home, the silence returned. And so did the memories. The look on Selena's face the last time he saw her. The phone call that shattered his world. The funeral he never should have had to plan. 30 years later, the wound wasn't scarred over. It was still fresh, still open, This pain never leaves us, not because forgiveness wasn't possible, but because the loss was unforgivable. For Selena's family, parole denial wasn't victory. It was survival. It was knowing that for at least 5 more years, Yolanda Saldívar would sit in a cell, and Selena's memory would remain unsullied by headlines of early release or second chances. But deep down, Abraham knew, whether Yolanda spent the rest of her life behind bars or not, their sentence had already been given. A life without Selena, one where every triumph was bittersweet, every family gathering felt incomplete, and every moment of joy was shared with an invisible ache, because she wasn't there to share it. When Abraham broke his silence, it wasn't for headlines. It wasn't even for justice. It was for himself, for his wife, for Suzette. It was a whisper to the world, but more importantly to his daughter, that they would never stop hurting, because they would never stop loving. Parole denied? For them, Selena was still denied. Denied the chance to live, to dream, to grow, and that no verdict could ever change. Selena Quintanilla may be gone, but every beat of her music still pulses through the hearts of millions. Because no parole denial, no verdict, and no prison sentence could ever change what she gave the world. Love, joy, pride. In the days after Yolanda Saldívar's parole was denied, something extraordinary happened. Fans didn't just celebrate justice, they celebrated her. Social media transformed from rage and relief into remembrance. Clips of Selena laughing behind the scenes, performances that could still raise goosebumps, home videos where her eyes sparkled with dreams yet to be fulfilled. In Texas, candlelight vigils erupted spontaneously, but they weren't moments of mourning. They were moments of connection. Fans gathered, they sang, they danced, as if she were right there with them, and in a way she was. Selena's family watched, and for a brief moment, the ache softened. They saw the murals freshly painted across city walls. They saw children, born long after Selena left this world, belting out every word to Amor Prohibido. They saw generations collide in unity, bound not by tragedy, but by devotion. For Abraham Quintanilla, that was Selena's real justice. Not Yolanda's prison bars, not headlines shouting denied, but the love that refused to die. A love that filled arenas decades after her final song. A love that turned pain into purpose. A love that made sure the world would always say, Selena lives. Even now, fans continue the mission she never finished. Supporting Latina artists, breaking boundaries, fighting for representation and respect in the music industry. In every note sung by young dreamers, in every dance inspired by her rhythm, in every tear shed when Dreaming of You plays late at night, Selena is still here. Her father knows this. Her family clings to this. And her fans, the loyal, the fierce, the forever faithful, make sure of this. Because while grief never ends, neither does love. And love? That's eternal. Selena's story didn't end on March 31st, 1995. It didn't end in a courtroom. It doesn't end with parole denied. Continues in every voice that refuses to forget, in every fan who whispers her name, in every heartbeat that sinks to the timeless rhythm of Biddy Biddy Bom Bom. Selena lives, because we live to remember her. For more of the latest news, check out this video.